What's up, everybody? Glecko here, back with yet another video. So now these videos, we're going to go back to Fairy Tale. Now, oddly enough, we're not in talking about Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, but just the original Fairy Tale series. Let me give it a chance to catch my breath. I'm out of shape. Sorry. Okay. Guys, this is something I've wondered for a while. What's the relation? I never know I'm not the best with words. Never know what the title of videos, but what's the relationship of strength between Irene, August, and Acnologia? Obviously, he's stronger than them. You know, that's pretty much a given. But I don't know. Cause shouldn't they? I don't see the difference, especially between Irene and Acnologia. August, I can somewhat see, because August, he doesn't have Dragon Slayer magic. I think Irene could fight Acnologia, maybe even kill him, because let's go ahead. Firstly, Acnologia is an arcane Dragon Slayer, meaning he can, and we know Dragon Slayers can eat their own element. So arcane being magic, Acnologia eats magic. All right, cool. So he basically nullifies all magic attacks in a way, but he can be affected by magic, as we will see towards the end of the video. Irene is an enchanting Dragon Slayer magic. She uses enchantment magic. At least I believe that's what she is. And August just copies other people's magic, but he can't. There's certain magics he can't. He couldn't copy Kana's card magic. So magic that uses magic items, which I guess you could argue Dragon Slayer magic, because it uses Dragon Slayer Lacrima. So I'll factor that in. And you could put Larcade in here as well, but Larcade is kind of noticeably beneath these two here. So, but he is comparable to them. Larcade, I'm planning on doing a Spriggan 12 video later, so that'll be for them. But so why I'm picking August and Irene, other than the fact that they're the strongest people, noticeably behind Zareth in the Alvarez Empire, what they've done is comparable to Acnologia. We are told that Acnologia has toppled whole nations on his own. Okay, well, in the Alvarez invasion arc, both Irene and August showcased abilities, that could topple nations on their own as well. Both of them had attacks that could completely, both of them were able to use magic attacks that affected the entirety of Ishgar. Irene with Universe 1. August with his, he was going to use that spell to evaporate everyone's blood, I believe. But then he saw Mavis and was like, man, I miss you, mommy. And then poof. P.S. Now, this is what makes it so frustrating. I'm planning on buying the entire Fairy Tale series just to, read all of it. But I can't gauge where they are compared to where the cast was at the time, Natsu and them, right? Both August, I know they were strong, but both August and Irene killed themselves. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. They both just poof. They both sent themselves to the upper room. They weren't defeated. In fact, I don't want to. But what really submits this is the fact that Irene had a brief fight with Acnologia. It was very brief, but then she sent him away. So when she battles him, they basically complement each other. Acnologia, the most arrogant, solitary, that guy. He was like, you know what? You're not half bad. He goes, for someone who learned from that black wizard, you aren't half bad. And then we have Irene going, I see why he fears you. So, right? So it's if August and Irene teamed up, could they beat Acnologia? Because what is that? Okay, in August did there's so much to talk about. I gotta try to keep this short as possible. So Irene, other than fighting Acnologia, and Acnologia never turned into his dragon form, I must admit. He never turned into his dragon form. I'll give him that. Give him that. Right. Um, Irene had a dragon form as well. Irene fought Urza and Wendy. She was clearly stronger than them, but she didn't want to kill Urza, so she kind of took herself out. Though Urza was able to surprise her. Now I want to mention that Urza was shook it was like shaken by Acnologia's magic presence, not Irene. So maybe Acnologia was holding back, right? But like I said, both Irene and August together, that's a lot of magic, she like I said, Irene fought Urza and Wendy, and she killed herself because she didn't want to hurt them. Other than that, I don't think she fought anyone else. Like she beat up Mira Jane, but Mira Jane's strong. She's S class, but I mean that's like, you know. Um, then, but August is a bit different. August actually beat. August beat the Arachion Sace minus Angel, right? He beat Cobra. He beat Racer. He beat the guy who uses Earth Magic. Sorry, I don't remember his name. He beat Midnight and he beat Jalal. Now, well, actually, it's Crime Sorcier, but I don't believe Merity or what's her name? Merity or yeah, I don't believe Merity was in that fight. It's just Merity. But if she was, oh well. Okay, so why am I bringing that up? Well, Jalal is comparable to Loxus, but Loxus might be slightly stronger than him. Please just remember that, okay? So August easily beat that group, and then poof. All right, poof. All right. Now, August would then get into a fight. August would then fight Gildarts. Gildarts was practically holding his own. August was definitely a bit above him. It seemed like when he was going to use his ultimate spell, Gildarts really couldn't do anything. But August wasn't one-shotting. He wasn't like slapping Gildarts around. Now, Gildarts wasn't like pummeling August or anything, but it was a pretty decent fight. Heck, in between the fight, August was like, "You ever have a daughter?" Well, like he was like, "Do you love me?" Like he was talking about family stuff, right? So, all right. So that kind of establishes their power. Now, Acnologia. We meet Acnologia during the Tenero arc, where he goes up against the entirety of Fairy Tail. They were powerless against him. Okay. We go back. Now we fast forward to the Tartaros arc. He shows up and he kills Ignia. Ignia was a dragon king, much like Irene is considered a dragon queen. Now, why am I bringing this up is Metallicana stated that even Ignia couldn't stop Acnologia. But Ignia was able to rip off one of his arms. Okay, Metallicana goes, but it needs to be stated that Ignia fought from the brink of death, meaning he was weakened. Why am I bringing this up? Well, and it was stated that Acnologia fought all of the dragons, Metallicana, Skiadrum, Vice Logia, Grandina, Ignia. He's the reason they had to heal. He tore their souls from their body. So he beat all of them before. So I guess this is kind of like contradictory, but when Metallicana was like, it needs to be stated that Ignia fought from the brink of death. I take that as the author, Hiro Mashima, going, hey, listen, Ignia was weakened. But even while weakened, he was still able to take one of Acnologia's arms. I don't know if Irene is calling herself a dragon queen just for the title, but if she's on par with the other kings in terms of dragons, like the Fire Dragon King Ignia, if she's on par with them, another reason I don't see why she and August together, she's comparable to Acnologia. I'm seeing August and Irene at the level of power that Acnologia was. or at least comparable enough. Okay, now we fast forward to the end of the series, right? Acnologia one-shot got Serena. And actually, August was there. And August, when Acnologia showed up, was kind of like, oh, snap. And once he one-shot got Serena, and by the way, God Serena had just beaten the four emperors of Ishtar, the top four mages. And he did that by himself. Jacob was going to go fight Acnologia. Jacob Lazio, the guy who was beat by Natsu, he was going to go fight Acnologia by himself. But August stopped him. August was like, don't try it. You'd be dead before you hit the ground. I take that as like, but like, so I'm guessing that means August is like, even like, because if August thought him and Jacob together could beat Acnologia, I'm sure he would have did that, especially considering the fact that August wants to serve his father, Zareth. So okay, so that's another thing that's kind of like, okay, Acnologia is far above these guys. Boom, yada, yada, yada. Now we switch to the fight of the Dragon Slayers. Acnologia fought locked in the series Loxus, Natsu, Gagio, Wendy, Sting, Rogue, and Cobra. Now, Sting and Rogue got beat by Bloodman earlier. And Bloodman was one of the weaker members of the Spriggan 12. Okay. But Gagio kind of tied with him. So if you add, Natsu was definitely above them. Like, Natsu was just below, he's just below like August and what's her name? I say Natsu. See, this is like the fairy tale power system. That's why I want to read the whole series, because the power system is kind of crazy. Like, we don't know exactly how powerful, not because, like, firstly, well, he beat Jacob, and Brandish even compliments this. So that means Jacob was probably a little bit above Brandish. So Natsu's definitely above a Spriggan. You know what? And he beat Nineheart easily. Yeah, I know when he awakened and he fixed his demon and like there was the whole demon and stuff, like the demon seed and dragon seeds. But I don't think that really plays a like. Okay, so whatever. Well, I'm not gonna count that, honestly, right? Natsu beat he beat Nineheart, right? So Natsu was I put him probably at the level of Larcade, maybe, because he was fighting Zareth one-on-one. But Lucy rewrote the Book of Eden. It was a lot that was going on, okay? Generously putting him around Larcade level. All right, so Natsu's around Larcade level, maybe a bit more, because it's kind of crazy. I don't know. But Natsu... Gagio is like Bloodman, so he's Spriggan level. If you I don't know how strong Cobra was, because he lost earlier, but if you add Cobra to Sting and Rogue, that's like another Spriggan level. And then there's Loxus, who was on par with Gildarts. Gildarts, of course, being, Gildarts was like, holding was swinging blows with August. So an August level being a Larcade level being a low-level Spriggan, and then you add Wendy, who boosted them. Let's go ahead and just multiply that times 2. Irene was able to enchant Nineheart. Nineheart, who was able to bring back several low-level Spriggans. So she's got immense magical powers on her own. Acnologia beating... I don't know why... I should have brought that up a little later, But Acnologia, even with all his power, none of the 6 Dragon Slayers, even while boosted by Wendy, could beat Acnologia. He slapped them all around. Okay? Wendy had to enchant all their magic powers and attributes into Natsu, allowing him to finish off Acnologia. Now, it should be noted that Acnologia has split himself into 2 forms. His spirit and physical form. The dragon form he was in was actually trapped in Fairy Spear, and it was being bound by the by the fair spirit because it was trapped on a boat. A dragon's natural weakness, and the shield was reinforced by the magic power of everybody in Ishgar. Okay, everyone in Ishgar. And I believe if I'm remembering this correctly, Acnologia actually, when Natsu was coming to finish him off with his final attack, Acnologia was frozen, I believe, because his body was affected. So his strength was kind of like he was kind of nerfed, right? Why am I? And then he died. Why am I bringing this up? Well, Acnologia was fighting against multiple high-level Spriggan, people comparable to the highest level of Spriggan 12, right? People comparable to Acnologia and Irene. But he only lost because of the fact that his body was split. It took everybody, even Brandish, who was a Spriggan, had to offered her magic power and stuff into the spear to hold Acnologia. So it took an entire continent. Well, both Irene and August can affect continents on their own. So the fairy tale power system is so crazy. Like, I'm struck. Like, obviously, I know a dragon god is well above Irene and August, and I guess you could argue that Acnologia had become a dragon god or was getting into the territory of the dragon gods here when he ate the time rift. But I don't know. I genuinely struggle to I'm like, part of me thinks both of them together could beat him, but as I was talking here, I kind of, started to realize, just how much it took to beat Acnologia. Like, he was fighting against somebody. He was fighting against somebody who was comparable to Gildarts, someone who was maybe a little bit above Larcade, and another high-level Spriggan. So, Larcade's definitely beneath Irene and August because he was able to affect a vast distance, but nothing like them. But he still had a very powerful reach with his magic, a large reach with his magic. So it's like, I don't know. With Irene being able to enchant, she might be able to boost August to where he could, So I don't know, guys. This video, I just wanted to rant and get this off my chest. Like, I'm kind of conflicted. Like, it seems like we never really got enough of all these characters to definitively place them or anything. So, and yeah. Acnologia brought down Gildarts, but that was a weaker level Gildarts. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Because it was stated that Irene disobeyed Zareth's orders a bunch. So, she definitely was not afraid of him. So, yeah, the whole the entire final series of the fairy tale arc, the whole thing was kind of like crazy. Like maybe I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I know he's stronger than them. I just don't know about how much. I don't know. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. Like I said, I know he's stronger than them. I just don't know about how much. Honestly, together, adding together, I think they probably could have. I don't know. They might have stood a good chance. Maybe I just looked into it wrong. Maybe I need to read the manga. Maybe the anime didn't do the fights or the power system no justice. Yeah. But anyway, I'm Glecko. I ain't gonna ramble on too much longer. Thank you for the views. Thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you for all the support. I'll see you all next time. I got a headache. I got to go sit down.